Greeting all. Be made aware that the foundational of language is noted by the 4 skills, that is listening, speaking, reading and writing. That is to say, an educator or a learner or any kind of person who is intended to prefer one skill over the other, so here you cannot do that. It is completely impossible to do it. You cannot prefer one skill and neglect other skills. Why? Because language is a unit, is a compound unit that consists of several of essential constituents. Taking that into account, in this video, I will address one particular skills that is important for your learners. It is considered as one of the difficult skill that learners may encounter. So you should be intellectual as a teacher. You need to be intellectual and provide useful techniques to motivate, to build an interest towards your learners' motivational, how we can say, factors. So, long story short, I will start with the writing skills. The lesson of today is about writing skills. So the writing skill involves the writing process, obviously. By implementing what? Implementing teaching techniques. Teaching I will present my personal techniques that I preferably suggested or recommend them to potential teachers. The first technique I call it is especially for beginners, because be aware that you are not going to teach the writing skill, okay, or I learn to integrate. When you will teach them I learn to integrate as a lesson, you cannot teach the writing how we can say blindly. No, you need to consider the learner's profile, their level. You need to give them the writing activities that fit to their levels. Do not ask them to write a paragraph or essay. If they are beginner, of course, they will not know, they will be unable to write a paragraph. You need to start from the bottom to up, from the initial stage till the final stage. So the writing process or the writing stages are started from preliminary stage, the second stage and the final stage. After you finish this, you will go through the writing process. So the first technique, as I mentioned, has to deal with ideas or hinting ideas. Hinting ideas techniques. What do we mean by hinting ideas techniques? The first thing, you are going to give them, how you can say it, a piece of papers that some sentences written on it, or you can write them simply on the board. Give them several ideas about any particular topic. make it as a scramble, not order, and tell them to order those sentences into a coherent and a cohesive paragraph. Before, talking about cohesive and coherent, ask them to order it. Just they will read and order it, paragraph, sentence after sentence, and then you will move to the second stage. You ask them to link between the first sentence and the second sentence. You will give them examples, you give them linkers or connectors like because, therefore, but, I think, that is to say, thereby. These are all connectors. Sentence connector like while, when, related pronouns. Write them all on the board, and learners will use one of them. Okay, they will use, just remarkably, give them related pronoun. They already know about it. If they know about when and who or where, so they will understand that where is used for place, who is used for person, which is used for things. So give them something they are familiar with. Sentence connector while, that is used with the past continuous, the continuous action, whatever. So after that, you will do the second techniques. The first technique is to give them ideas, sentences, scrambled, not ordered, and ask them to order them, and create a paragraph. After that, you will provide them with useful connectors, related pronouns, and other discourse markers, but, because, I think, so, for, as, and therefore, etc. And ask them to link between the first sentence and the second sentence. What they are going to do, they are not going to do it alone here in this part. After they order, after they finish ordering sentences, they will move to the second technique. The second technique is called alternate speech. Hinting idea, the first technique, and the second technique is called alternate with a silent R. With a silent R. Alternate speech. The meaning of this technique is that learners will interchangeably share rules. One student will write the first sentence, the other student should complete it by using the presented discourse markers, the presented connectors, the presented related pronouns. I'm talking about when, where, which, sentence connector while, because, therefore, other, the, etc. This is about the second techniques. After they finish, what they are going to do, they are going to present their lesson in front of their speech or their format, their paragraph format, in front of their colleagues. This is what they have to do. After they finish, when they finish, you can move to the last technique, which is called presenting or playing videos. You will invite them to listen or to watch a video about any particular speech, and they have to summarize what they have heard. So they need to summarize what they have heard from that video. You will let them watch for half minutes, let's all say half minutes, and after that they need to summarize what they have understand from the whole speech. This is what you have to do. The third technique is to posting summary. These are all my techniques, my writing techniques. I invented them, so this is why I suggested them to anyone who is watching the video, especially educators. By the way, when they finish, they will present the summary, the paragraphs, with the by focusing on cohesive and coherent formation. They need their words or their sentences need to be coherent, need to be comprehensively absorbed by the listener or by the recipient. This is what they need to focus about. It's about summary within the conclusive meaning. These are all techniques that can be suggested to potential teachers. After that, when you finish, so they already know how to write a paragraph, they somehow gain interest towards the writing skills. And when you finish, you will do the writing process. You will ask them to write about their favorite objects. So here is a free activities. Ask them to write about their favorite objects and do the writing process. What do you mean by the writing process? The writing process is as follows. We have, I think, 4 or 5 steps. The first thing is to clarify the task instruction. Right? Explain to them what they should do in the following task. When you finish, you will move to the next one. Learners will start doing drafting. Okay, in other words, we start drafting. So the second one is a draft. This is the essential part in the writing process. Drafting. What do you mean by drafting? They will try to create sentences. They probably make mistakes, grammatical mistakes, etc. And the teacher responsibility here is to monitor his students, observe them, move from one group to another, group A to B to C and D, and correct. If you find any mistakes, correct them on the spot, right? Directly provide the correct version of that sentence. It should not be written like this. It should be written in such a way. So when you finish drafting, learners will start practicing. So here, when they draft, they will edit. We move to editing. They will edit their work. They will edit their works, and when they finish, they will move to the third step, reviewing. Reviewing is to review their work once, twice, 3 times to see if there are still potential mistakes. When they finish with this stage, they will move to the 4th one. Means here to produce the final version of the form. Produce. Version of their work. Produce the final version of their handwriting or their paragraph. When they finish, they will present it in front of their colleagues. One representative will come to the board and present his or her works. After that, a teacher will correct the mistakes and invite learners to copy and pass on their copybook. That was all about techniques and the writing process. The benefit of this skill is that learners will create a writing habit. Some of them will be bored, so you need to follow these techniques step by steps. Give them something they are interested about. Don't ask them to write authentic text about literacy, about any particular poem, etc. Now give them something they like, about Zinedine Zidane, about football star, about actress, about actor, about anything they prefer. So here, the students' preference is taken into consideration. That was all. Thank you very much and see you for the next video.